Hey, so, what's that? Okay, so, I was thinking about my dad, because I do that sometimes, and, I was thinking about how he left us when we were little, because he didn't want to hurt us, because his drinking was bad, and his drug taking was bad, and he just didn't want to hurt us. That's why he left, according to him, what he had told me when I got older. But when he died, and he found out that my secret, he told me the real reason why he just didn't want to be around us. So, I probably will only post this on YouTube and Facebook, YouTube and TikTok. I have his family members on Facebook, and they would be like, no, that didn't happen. But this is from him. When he was 9, he was in the Catholic Church. You know how they have altar boys. That's the word, altar boys. And he was one of them. And he was there, and he was doing his thing, and then one of the guys, not necessarily the priest, but he was one of the guys that worked there, he had offered to take him home one day when it was really badly snowing. And even though he was like one of those kids who's perfectly fine going home in the snow, because he would have loved it, he would have loved to go by himself in the snow, according to him. But instead, he got hurt. That was the first time he got hurt on the way to his house. Was told if he didn't say anything. He was told if he said anything, then it would be against God. That's what they taught him, that it would be against God if he said anything. He got hurt for wellness over 3 to 4 years by the same guy. He got hurt. And the only reason he told me, in a dream, by the way, the only reason he told me was because I told my mom what happened to me. I said 9 to her, but I wasn't 9, I was 13. I was 13 when I got hurt by a kid in a bathroom. I was 13 when I was touched inappropriately for 2 years, on and off. Because, I have to, for Christmas and for break. Not for Christmas. For breaks and for summer, I was left alone. I was bullied at home, but I was left alone by him. And to know that my dad got hurt, and that he left because he didn't want to hurt us, like he was hurt, which is awesome that he did that. It was sad because we wanted our dad, but it was awesome that he did that. He didn't trust himself enough not to. And I have immense respect for him. And so I had told my mom, and he was listening in because he surrounds his kids, well, us two anyways, as girls. I don't know what he does with my half brother. I don't know. But he's always around us girls. And so he was around when I told my mom. It's around when I told her what had happened to me. Now, again, I told her age 9. It wasn't that age. I was 13. I was in school. I was getting bullied. But, so then I remembered of that. My dad telling me, I remember of what my response was. I had forgiven this person that had hurt me a long time ago, because it wasn't because I was forgiving them. I was forgiving me. I was forgiving myself for putting myself in that situation. I was forgiving myself for not telling the truth. I was forgiving myself for letting another person touch me down there that wasn't a doctor or wasn't mom, or mom in a good way. Sorry. Mom in a good way. I forgive myself for that. And my dad helped me. My dad was like, how did you do that? How did you forgive someone who hurt you? Like, because I wasn't forgiving them. Not essentially. I was forgiving myself. And when you forgive yourself for that action, you can forgive them. Because they're not really who you're forgiving. You're forgiving yourself. You're forgiving yourself for having that situation happen to you. And then later on, my mom would be like, how have you done this for so long? I mean, I know you have PTSD from this, but how did you get through this? I never gave her the answer because honestly, at that time, I just didn't think she could handle it. But the answer is, you let the scenes play out. You let the video of everything that happened to you play out. And I know you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't. It's horrible. It is horrible. It is very horrible. But you need to let the scenes play out to the point where they have no control over you anymore. Because the less control they have over you, the more you can start to rebuild, the more you can start to forgive that person, yourself, and everything else. The more you can forgive the fact that your parents didn't know what was going on. The more you can forgive your mom for not seeing the signs. The more you can forgive your sister or your sibling or everyone else that you know for not seeing that there was something wrong and just thinking that you were just depressed. You need to play out the signs. You need to play out the videos. You need to play them out. And I know, you're gonna be like, I can't. They're in that locked box for a reason, okay? I'm not gonna do it just because she's saying it. You don't have to. But I did. It took me 4 years to get through the freaking video, through the messages that were inside of them. 4 years for the flashbacks to stop. Not altogether, because they come back once in a while, you know, and you're like, what the hell was that? I'm going to focus on that. Because you get new information if your brain repressed it like mine did for a while. Play the videos that are in your head. They're going to hurt. But when they do, you feel so much better. And you realize they never had power over you. You realize you had the power all along. It's been 10 years since I've done that. I don't have one flashback anymore. Knock on wood, like Mom says. But yeah.